So I feel like my brain is starting to become the kind of the central character or subject of this channel, because the last couple of videos I put out, I was talking about how I have to journal because of the way that my brain works. And today I really want to take a deep dive in my productivity system. So I use the app called Todoist. It works on your phone, it works on your computer. And I just want to kind of show you how I'm using that system to get my brain out on a piece of paper, because I have so much stuff going on up here at any given time. It's really hard for me to focus on anything. A lot of times I feel like I black out because it's like I'm swimming in all my thoughts. So if I did not have a system like I'm about to show you to get all my thoughts, my tasks, my reminders, my events, appointments, and all that into one place, I don't know what I would do. All right, let's take a little look into my digital brain and see how these things actually work. So for a lot of you, when you log into Todoist, it's going to take you to your inbox view. Now, this is a great place for you to just go ahead and put in a bunch of tasks for the day that maybe you don't currently have organized, and you want to organize those later on. Personally, for me, the way that I have Todoist set up, I have these project areas is where all my tasks are going to go. So when I have given tasks that I know are going to be for a certain project, I just go inside of that project, which I'll show you here in just a minute, and start adding those tasks. But the main area that I really use here is today. So basically, my brain is always going a million miles a minute. There's lots of thoughts coming in, there's lots coming out, there's areas of hyperfixation. So of course, I'm going to forget a lot of things that I need to do. So the reason that I love Todoist is because I'm able to put literally everything in here. So you'll see that today, all that I really have left, being that it's a Sunday, I don't have a lot going on. I need to make sure that I feed my dog this evening. And the reason that I keep this in as a reoccurring task is because there's a lot of times my wife and I get very busy. We're both in and out a lot of times, and we're not always like super communicating. So if I was to ever forget to feed the dog or leave home before her dinner time, then I could text my wife and say, hey, I haven't fed Lily yet. Can you feed her when you get home? And once she does that, then I can click this off the list just to make sure that she gets fed. Now, we also have a lot of other things I'll show you. Well, I'll just go ahead and show you now. But like, I keep track of finances. So I know that rent is coming out on this particular day. My sewer bill needs to be paid on this day. Take the trash to the curb. I have this every Friday morning because I can't tell you how many mornings I have forgotten to take my trash to the curb, and it gets overflowing, and it's just not a good time. So I have a reminder now, 30 minutes before I leave the house for work, to take that trash can to the curb. We also do other types of chores, so we're trying out some different methods as far as like washing the towels. Let's start doing that every Wednesday instead of just when we feel like it, when we have way too much laundry. So I'm really trying to use Todoist not only to do just basic tasks, but also just to really get my life prioritized and organized. So what I do is I take all the high-level areas of my life where I'm actually going to have tasks, and I put those in the project section. So I have personal, bookseller, which is the bookstore that my wife and I co-own together, Chadeveryday, which deals with everything YouTube or freelance work that I do on the side. Home, of course, is like anything that's going on at the house. Our finances, taking care of our dog, doing our chores, various things like that. Work is obviously anything that I have going on at my work. Appointments is interesting because this section is a little bit different. So this section actually syncs up with my calendar. So 1 second. Now I have some other tasks that are on the calendar as well. Typically my reoccurring things go on the calendar just to remind me that, hey, feed Lily every single day, wash the towels on Wednesdays, take the trash to the curb on Fridays. So basically the way that I do this is if I have a very specific point in time that something needs to be completed, it makes it to my calendar. So you could see this bill on the road visit. I had a travel writer coming to my destination, had to make sure that I remembered that. So really anything in person, you could see photo club reception that I went to. There was a Yeti race that happened, other types of events that are going on. That's ultimately what I want to go to my Google Calendar. I don't want every single thing on there because then that becomes a nuisance. So really just the time-sensitive tasks that have a hard deadline or in-person or virtual meetings is what I ultimately get on my calendar. But this is essentially the way that I map out my brain in a digital format. I have not found a paper method to make this work just yet. And that's basically how I map out my brain through Todoist in a digital So hopefully you got something good out of that. I really do recommend Todoist. I don't make any money off of them if you sign up for them or not. They have a great free account that you could probably figure out ways to utilize it so that you never have to pay for it like I do. I haven't figured that out yet, so I'm glad to pay for it and support the company anyhow. I mean, $5 a month is pretty cheap, and it does everything I need it to do, and it honestly has saved my life because I've used so many different methods and styles. I mean, like you, I've watched hundreds of YouTube videos teaching me the best productivity methods, the best productivity apps, the best way to be productive and do things and get things done. I've read the books, I've done it all, and this is what works for me. Just a simple, straightforward system that doesn't have all these crazy bells and whistles, and it doesn't require me to use 2 or 3 different apps. It all works for me right here in one space. So with that, I want to say, take this as you will, make it into something your own, and as always, be sure to create something new today.